Hey everybody, what's going on? I want to talk about this new arena mode that we got added to the game. And I want to talk about it for a few reasons. I want to elaborate a little bit on my feelings about it and why I don't have the same reaction to this as I do for the 3v3 mode in Raid. For a lot of my Raid people, you might be a little confused why I saw this and thought it seemed cool. And and I hate it so much in Raid. So I wanted to talk about why, because there are some key differences here that I think are going to be very important, as well as just some general aspects to the game right now that I think are important to consider. I also will say, when Raid first came out with 3v3, I was very optimistic about it. I dove into it pretty heavily. I made some content around it. I try to be very positive about most of what Plarium does still. The problem is Plarium makes it very difficult. So do I still have some of the same feelings about this as I do about Raid's 3v3? Sure. In some ways, yes. I feel like the way Raid did it, it felt very hurried. It felt very uninspired. And I think there are a lot of fundamental problems with it in Raid that are not present here. So let's talk about those. In Raid, for starters, the promotion system in Raid for their 3v3 arena is just really annoying. It's very aggravating. It's not like a normal arena where you can just climb. You have to wait until each weekly reset to see if you get bumped up or not, right? You have to be there for reset and make sure you don't get pushed back down. It's like rush hour when you're trying to finish at a high level in arena, but no matter what level you're at, that's the case. That's aggravating. I think you should just be able to climb and drop as you can. I don't know if that's the case here, honestly. I assume it's just like the regular arena where you can rise and fall as it goes. We'll find out. 2, Arena is not nearly in the state that it's in Raid. Arena is so broken in Raid. Their matchmaking is awful. Their tiers are all muddied up with players that don't belong in those tiers. I haven't encountered that here yet. As I've climbed on both of my accounts, I've been in platinum. I've been in like high platinum on my main account. This was a while back when I first started playing. In the first few weeks, we pushed up and got up into high platinum, and it felt like what it should feel like. As does my free-to-play account down in bronze and silver. It feels like I'm going against teams I should be going against. There tends to be kind of a pattern where there's 2 or 3 really easy teams, one kind of hard team, and then one very hard team in every list that I refresh. But there's clearly something to their matchmaking, right? Again, I do think there are some problems. I think some of the biggest problems this game has are in Arena, but I still don't think it's in the state it's in Raid. So new arena modes don't rub me the wrong way here like they do in Raid. Another, and perhaps the most important aspect of this is this. Let me find. You can't use duplicate heroes. That's huge, because if you came from Raid, you know that at a certain point, you're just going to be going against 3 teams that have CFI, or you're basically going against the same team 3 times. One of the things that I initially was so excited about when Raid dropped 3v3 is that people were going to have to come up with 3 different teams. You were going to have to expand the way that you played Arena a little bit, you know what I mean? But that's not really the case. In a lot of people's case that are spending a lot of money, especially, you kind of can just build the same team 3 times, give or take a champ. You know what I mean? Here, even if you build the same type of comp, you at least have to do it 3 different ways. You at least have to come up with 3 different ways to do it. So you're not going to see Light Brand in 3 teams. You're not going to see all of the ridiculous, it's not going to be 3 Light Wing Zacks. You might have a Light Wing Zack to solve, but if he's not in the 3rd team, you might not even have to fight him. You know what I mean? If you can win the first 2, then you don't even have to do a 3rd fight, which again is a time saver at least. So I think this presents a lot of what I hoped for when Raid dropped the game mode. But over time, Plarium let it stay stale. They never really added to it or did anything to it. They haven't really worked very hard to balance it or make it interesting. And the only thing it's really tied to is a bazaar that you're locked out of based on what tier you're in. And it's so difficult and time consuming to climb tiers, it's almost not worth the effort of being up there anyway. Everything in their shop is so overpriced. The whole system in Raid, I have a lot of problems. There's very little that I think is good about Raid's tag arena. And I think all of those issues are not present here. I do think this is different. Yeah, most people are going to bring their arena team in here that they use. I think for me, what I've started off doing is I'm using my defense and my offense, and then I'm having to come up with a third team now. But again, I can't use dupes. This game is not really centered around dupes the way Raid is. So I do think that there's some interesting challenges here. I think I think it's a good new game mode. I think too that it being tied to this is pretty cool. I think in Raid this is tied to regular arena. Here this is tied to this kind of arena. I don't have a problem with this, and I don't think that it's overly expensive. I haven't really gotten here to dig around in it yet. It's going to be a long time thing for sure, but you get, at least in Bronze 1, I've been getting 1 green per fight, but I'm also getting coins, right? I've got 40 coins where I can come in here and buy these from here too. So I don't think it's going to be miserable. It's going to be a long grind. You know, it takes a few years in Raid to max your grade also. And in Summoner's War, this system takes a long time. This is designed to take a long time. But I think Arena is much better balanced, at least in their matchmaking here. You know what I mean? I'm in Bronze 1. This looks roughly like stuff I should be seeing in Bronze 1. I'm on my main account, you know what I mean? I'm not going to hit any walls here for a while. On the free to be elite account though, we'll see how it goes. I feel similarly to this as I felt when Raid dropped theirs. And now having all the experience that I have with Raid's version of this, I feel like I can better look at this and address problems quicker, address things that are not problems quicker. So I do think this is better. I think the developers of Awaken Chaos Era understand balance so much better than Plarium. If you've played this game and you've played Raid, I imagine that you feel your progression feels very differently in this game. It feels much more measured. Things make a lot more sense. They tend to give you the right things at the right time. There's a noticeable gradual increase in difficulty. In Raid, it's not like that. You will coast and then hit these hard walls out of nowhere, and then you will coast and hit these hard walls out of nowhere. Their path to Arbiter is all out of whack. It makes no sense really. Just generally, they don't understand balance and progression. Just these developers seem to at this point. So, again, maybe they'll expand on this at a certain point. Maybe as we play it, we'll address some problems. I feel like they've been pretty good about fixing things that need fixing for the most part. Again, I like a lot of what they're doing over here, and as much shit as I give Plarium, my default is truly not to be critical and negative. Even to this day, when Plarium does something good or questionable, I tend to lean positive, and then it's up to Plarium to keep me there, and they just fail to a lot. You know what I mean? I really don't want to be super critical and negative. I want to enjoy the game. I want them to put out good things. And I feel like that's what Ace is doing. So I know it's a little confusing. I know it seems at first glance like it's just the same shit Raid did, right? And to a degree, sure. To a degree, are they copying it? Yeah. I don't know of a lot of games that did this before Raid. So maybe this is where they got the idea. I think it's better. If only for the sake of Arena being in a better state, and if you win the first 2 fights not having to do the third one, I think those things by themselves make it already so much better than what we have in Raid. And again, if there are problems and we address them and press them about them, hopefully they will get fixed. And who knows, maybe some things will get added to this game mode over time. It's still a relatively new game. This is a very new game mode. We can give it a little time to see what it does, how it performs, what they do to it, how we feel about it, all of those things. I'm not going to automatically hate this because I hate it in Raid. I don't think that's fair. So we're going to give it a chance. Maybe I'm wrong. maybe in a week I'll be making videos about why I hate it. But as of right now, I don't hate it. I don't have any strong negative feelings about it. I'm excited about the elemental power thing. I think that's going to be very helpful for me on the Elites Only account, keeping certain champs alive in certain places without having to focus exclusively on gear. It's going to be nice to have a boost from other places. So I'm excited to get into it. And that's it. I guess that's really all I have to say about it. If you have some thoughts on it you want to share with me, I'm of course interested. If you hate it, I would be interested to know why. Is it because you think it's just a straight up copy of what's in Raid, and does it feel a little uninspired? Because I don't entirely disagree with you on some of those elements, just to be clear, but I'm willing to play it for a little bit and give it a shot and see how I feel about it. I'm very excited about the fact that there's no dupes involved. I'm really stoked that I'm not going to see 3 light brands on every team when I get to a certain point, or 3 light wing Zacs, or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? I'm excited that I'm going to at least have to deal with 3 different teams. That is great for me. I'm excited for that part of it. So anyway, let me know what you think about it. I'm interested to have the discussion, and we'll see how it goes moving forward. We'll see how we feel about it in a week, in a month, and see what changes get made and all of that stuff. But I'm gonna get out of here. That's enough rambling out of me for today. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll be back soon with another Elites video, I reckon.